option, of course. It's good just to keep this at very fast, or if your CPU is really good, you can set this to faster. But if your computer isn't so great, you're gonna wanna set this to super fast or ultra fast to alleviate the frame dropping issues. For your profile, you can set this to high. That goes for the graphics card as well if you're using that for your encoder. There's nothing really you need to set for tune. Maybe you could go with 0 latency as a good option, but that's just optional. If you look under the recording tab, I would change your video format to MP4 as that's much more compatible with a wide array of video editors. Below that, you can keep your encoder the same as the stream settings. On the far right, you'll see the replay buffer video format to MP4 as that's much more compatible with a wide array of It's good just to keep this at very fast, or if your CPU is really good, you can set this to faster. But if your computer isn't so great, you're gonna wanna set this to super fast or ultra fast to alleviate the frame dropping issues. For your profile, you can set this to high. That goes for the graphics card as well if you're using that for your encoder. There's nothing really you need to set for tune. Maybe you could go with 0 latency as a good option, but that's just optional. If you look under the recording tab, I would change your video format to MP4 as that's much more compatible with a wide array of video editors. Below that, you can keep your encoder the same as the stream settings. On the far right, you'll see the replay buffer tab where you can either enable or modify your replay buffer settings. Next, within the audio section, you can keep the sample rate and the channel set to their default settings. Below that, you're gonna have the desktop audio device 1. Here, you can either change it from the default or you can switch it to wherever you know that the audio is going to. So that could mean your speakers or your headphones. Select the corresponding device so that you can get your desktop audio to flow through. Below that, you're gonna see your mic auxiliary device 1. And if you select this drop down, this is where you can choose the microphone of your choice that's plugged into your computer. So in my case, it's this Elgato Wave 3 microphone. So that's what I would choose in this setting. If you do decide to keep this at default, Streamlabs Desktop is just gonna take in the microphone that you have set at your operating system level. Jumping over to the video section, this is where we can set our base and output canvas resolution. So by default, they should be set to 1920 by 1080, but let's say you wanna record and stream in 2K or 4K resolution, then you're gonna need to select the drop down and choose custom. And this is where you can actually put in that custom base canvas resolution that'll also need to be applied to the output canvas. And then just make sure you adjust your bitrate within the following ranges that you see on screen with respect to the resolution that you plan on recording or streaming in. But once you're happy with your resolution, you can select your downscale filter. The best would be 32 samples to go with. Your FPS type is good to just keep at common, and then you can set that common FPS value, which you can set up to 60. If you like, you can also set some custom hotkeys, which is being able to select certain keys on your keyboard to quickly perform actions within the application. You can also achieve this same result by using the remote control feature. So if you scan this QR code, it'll take you to install the remote control app from Streamlabs so that you can use your phone to wirelessly control your stream. With the settings out the way, let's start adding some sources to our scene. So the first scene I have here, I'm actually gonna rename this and call it gameplay. To add a source, we just need to go to the right of sources and select the plus button. And this is where we're gonna get a whole catalog of sources directly from Streamlabs to add into our canvas here. And what's beautiful about Streamlabs Desktop is that it has almost all of the sources that you might need for your stream without having to add in any custom plugins or configurations like you have to do in OBS. So let's first take a look at the essential sources here. You have your media file source, which is great for adding videos, music, even graphics such as facecam overlays or anything that has motion in it, which is usually a WebM file. If you're trying to add in plain or static images, then you're going to want to go with the image source instead of media file. One of the next essential sources is the video capture device source. This is where you can add in your facecam or gameplay, which we should do honestly, because that's how I record my gameplay all the time with my capture card. Currently the webcam is selected, but what we're gonna do is actually select our capture card, the Live Gamer Extreme 3. Give that a second to pop up. There it is. There's really no other settings that I need to configure here. It's all good to go. And I'm gonna select close, and there it is. But let's go back to our sources now. And next up, I'm gonna add my face cam to the mix. So instead of this being an existing source, this is gonna be a new source. So I'm gonna check that option there. We're gonna name this one face cam, add source. And now we're gonna keep the FaceTime HD camera right where it is, select close. And of course you can select any webcam of your choice that you have connected to your computer. I'm just using my camera here off of my computer to make it a little bit easy. Now, not all of you guys are using capture cards and you're recording gameplay directly off of your PC. So in that case, you're gonna wanna check out the screen capture source. Within this source, you can capture a specific game that you have on your computer. You can capture your entire screen or whichever monitor that you wanna capture from. You can even select to